Keto?
Him talking
Keto
about
talk?
what his diet is like. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the first. Let's do the first portion at 1 1/4 speed, and you tell me, Pedro. I haven't seen it yet, but you tell me when to go to 1.5 speed.
From 13 minutes or 14 minutes onwards.
That's right where I got to.
Cheaters, you idiot! Andrew Hiller from
Lord, come to some dinner.
Andrew Hiller from HillerFit. Are you juiced up or not? Natural. Fuck. Well, but the box isn't checked though. Not natural.
Video coming out tomorrow on that.
Surprise! Tomorrow you'll find out if Andrew.
Not much of a surprise. The head tells you everything you got to know.
You'll find out if Andrew Hiller is natural. You think that guy? Did you see my show this morning?
Yeah.
All the assholes in the comments are like, "Ask him if he's natty." I'm like, no.
I would bet that he's probably natural. He's just a freak.
That is one of those, right? He did have some like Tony Robbins shit going on. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he got a big head.
Oh,
Very
like
deep voice as
like
well.
Christoph Horvat kind of is like, he's like 10% of the way to having like some giganticism.
Yeah, he's massive.
I bet you Christoph has a huge dong.
Welcome to the show.
Pedro, good to have you. Coffee Pods and Wads.
I
Hello.
bet he doesn't.
Really?
Not yet. So
all
if
about,
someone-
like,
you just tear him right back down.
Hold on a second. Fuck you, Dave. You think Christoph doesn't have, you think it's a normal dick or a small dick?
Normal, but he's
Oh.
huge, so it looks smaller. So it's just
Oh,
average,
God.
but it's relative. It's like bodybuilders whose quads get huge, their penises look smaller. You ever experienced that?
No, but I just really disappointed. I want Christoph to have like just a Coke bottle down there.
That'd be worse.
What?
It's like it showed. You ever hear about that? Those are like the worst types of penises.
No, not like a Coke bottle, like a Coke bottle.
All the long ones.
Yeah, just like one of those glass ones from back in the day. Thick in the middle. Magnus Holmgren, Irish guy being the sensitive person. Wow, that's not normal. I don't even understand that. Is that facetious?
Is that like fellatio or different?
Be correct. Wad Zombie, Pedro, come back to the States, please. You need sun. Damn.
I saw a video of myself last week and I was like, fuck, I am so pale. Like so pale.
I like it.
See-through.
Translucent. Okay, we don't have time to small talk. Let's get to this. I have a day. So, like usual, we have the week. This is the review of the week in review from Dave Castro. This is the premier communications that comes out of CrossFit HQ. It is some of the most authentic interaction I think that any fucking corporation anywhere on fucking planet Earth has with their with the world. If you don't know Dave's background, he is a man of profound integrity, service, complex, very, very complex life. I don't even think anywhere has a story been told publicly, but he's beloved even by those who can't stand him. They love him. It is a very unique character. And this is his weekly comms as the head of the training department at CrossFit HQ and the head of the games. And he's been there since más o menos day one. Okay. Oh, you know what I want to do really quick? Can you guys lower your, sorry. Yep. Not your speaker, your audio. Lower your audio to take it off automatic and lower it to like 30 and make people really have to turn up their TVs.
You have a much fancier system than I do.
I think I just did it.
That's probably okay, is it?
Did you guys both lower yourselves to 30?
I did.
I'm lowered to something. I don't know.
Okay, good. All right. And then let me make sure Dave is full blast. And then you guys complain in the comments if you want, if you can't hear Dave good. Okay.
In review, November 6th, 2023. At Coffee, Pods, and Wads.
Hey.
Oh. Wow. Hey, and Dave has his headset on.
Hey, I don't think it's working though. I think he has it on, but it's not doing anything.
He has it on like John Young has it on.
Right. Okay.
It's recording to the computer.
Yeah, that's too bad. All right.
How many athletes have been tested this calendar year by CrossFit, and do you think this number can be increased to similar levels to other sports? I don't.
The question was, because I have it sped up, it was kind of hard to understand. That's not helping. Are you testing? Basically, Pedro asked him, put him on the spot. Are you testing enough athletes? Here we go. You dickhead, Pedro.
When
I
did
don't know
you
what
ask
the
that question?
similar levels are to other sports.
Today.
So I don't know what that represents. Why don't you come back and tell me how many people are tested in other sports, and specifically the other sports that you are referring to, because I don't know what other sports you might have in mind. I do think we could probably increase the number of people we test. It's not cheap. It's not easy. I would like to test way more people, but there are a lot of constraints and a lot of restrictions or a lot of financial implications in making a decision like that. But I would like to see the testing increase. We do a lot of testing. We do a lot of out-of-season testing, regardless of how much we do at this point. I still like to see an environment where we had more, and maybe we'll get to a place where that is possible.
On the thread we're on today, someone said that there's been only 13 out-of-season tests in CrossFit. And I don't know if that number is accurate or not accurate. But on top of that, so then we looked at the UFC's had 2,750.
If you scroll down, I commented some numbers to him, but I don't know if he'll read it. But I gave that one the UFC, tennis, golf.
But all of that being said, I'm completely happy with his answer. We just don't have the money to do it. And here's the reason why I'm happy. They sell $10 billion worth of golf balls a year. Golf balls, 10 billion. The UFC, I'm sure, is worth over $5 billion, maybe $10 billion. And they do 2,700 tests. In CrossFit, you have to guess the revenues, let's say 100 million a year at max. So I'm perfectly okay with the testing. But I don't. And let me put a caveat to that too. I don't give a shit. Anyway, Hiller, thoughts on testing? On them, are they testing enough? Do you like his excuse that we just don't have enough money? I mean, that's what he said, right? We just don't have enough money to test more. He said, I want to test more. We don't have the money, in a gentle way.
I think you said it on your show this morning. The how you do anything is how you do everything statement. I don't remember what it was in relation to, but all I can think about is what seemed to be going mile for them to get someone to go record with Tyson, and how hard it was to get that one piece of content out on Tyson.
Yeah.
And now they had to do it by 5 in relation to the drug testing, which every single time they drug test these people, they never catch anybody. And the only thing
that's not true. That's not true. They catch people
out of season. What's the last big name athlete you think has gotten caught out of season?
I don't know, but they catch people. I don't know if it's out of season or in season, but they do catch people.
Yeah, they catch random people who finished 15,000 in the open.
They got Ricky.
Yeah, they got him at the games though. That wasn't out of season.
Okay.
That was in 2017. He's probably the last big name person to have gotten caught, if not the only big name person to have gotten caught.
They didn't catch Joe Montana. They didn't catch Joe Montana.
I think it comes down to the testing agency, the type of test they're doing. And the only thing that would be better is if they were to test all 40, which we know that they can't do. So no matter
why can't they do it? Because of money. That's what I'm saying. Do you tolerate their excuse? Let me ask you this. Let's say it costs $5,000 to test an athlete.
An excuse? I don't even hear it as an excuse. It's just it is what it is.
How much do we know? How much it is?
Yeah. So, but are you critical? I'm just wondering. Are you critical of HQ for not doing enough testing? Because here's the solution. Why don't we take $100,000 away from first place, right, and do 10 more tests, or let's say we can do 20 more tests. That's it for $100,000. Are we willing to do that? I say fuck that. Fuck no. Keep the prize money high.
I say no as well. I say you're probably better off doing none.
Oh shit. Dan's fucking people up. Yeah, Hiller, take that. Jason Smith, big name.
Right, that's good. Where was he caught? He was caught at the semifinals. That was not a season though.
Yeah. Why does that matter? What's the implication of getting caught in season or out of season? Why are you distinguishing?
When it's in season, they're all at the event. You can get as many as you want, and they still don't take as many as they could. And when it's out of season, they've got to get a drug tester to the place and schedule it with the athlete. So you're doing time and travel. And
what you're saying is that's a more valid test because they don't know it's coming. And of course, everyone with an IQ over 10 can avoid getting popped at the event because they know it's coming. That's why you're saying there's a difference, though?
Correct. It's the athlete who came up to me, who I claimed of using performance-enhancing drugs at the games, that chick, Pinheiro, the Masters athlete, yeah. And she goes, I tested negative here. And I go, well, fucking duh.
Right.
But
Pedro, do you have any? Pedro, are you okay with this? With the his Like, are we still? I guess what I sense that in our thread, I sense that people were being critical that CrossFit's not doing enough, and I just don't think they have enough money. And I'm like, yeah,
No,
fuck it.
they don't have enough money, but like,
Yeah.
I suppose it would alleviate a lot of noise if they could test people more. Like, it would appease a lot of people, it would quieten a lot of people down.
Well, let's ask Hiller that. I don't think I agree with that either. I think even if they
can test
tested,
all
look
the
at the
athletes
Olympics. People are like, you
once
don't
a
do
month.
what the
Yeah.
Olympics do, and everyone's still critical as fuck of the Olympics, right?
True.
Right.
But it's the expense thing. Like, so I heard that they tested an athlete that was visiting another gym. So like, it's not too difficult for them to keep an eye. Like, athletes are very obvious about where they're going and when they're going. They're very like open on social media and stuff, especially the big ones. So it'd be pretty easy to find out, like, oh shit, we've got a tester based in fucking Seattle and athlete X is going to Seattle. Let's organize that instead of like, oh, let's get the person travel from Seattle over to fucking Florida for one
hell out
test
of
or whatever.
Seattle.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like you say, like, I never thought about that, about so like people can like skip tests or, you know, fake tests or whatever, get away with things, workarounds, get different whatever they need to take that won't be like traceable and stuff. So maybe it won't. I just think 5 is like a very low number for out of season. You'd nearly prefer more out of season testing rather than at semifinals and games, because you can, I don't know much about it, Hiller, but I'm assuming you can like taper off far enough away to a semi-final that you could be clean at the semi-final, but you could have been juiced in
I'd pass a
February or
drug
March.
test. Yesterday, I would have passed a drug test.
Why'd you say yesterday?
And action.
And maybe we'll do it next year. At Cedric Sigeti. Hey, Dave, thanks for your comments. For the Open, is it time to ditch the specific layouts? These can be quite difficult for gyms, pending space, etc. I appreciate that quarters and semifinals might require more standardization. For the 3 weeks, is it really necessary? Great comment, great point. We are definitely taking a look at evaluating the necessity of those layouts.
He didn't say that for my comment.
So what's the question here? Like, hey, can we have a little wiggle room for the layouts for the Open?
Yeah, you know, they have the tape and shit and
Yeah.
specific diameters or whatever. Can you get rid of that?
Like last year, the
At
biggest thing
Samuel-
was the. Oh, sorry, go.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
It was the shuttle runs, and I remember I tried to talk about what there was a person who put up their video for review, and there's 50 athletes doing shuttle runs in a narrow corridor. It's like, which one is it?
So the expense thing was an excuse for the last 10 years. I know it's valid, but still, here's the thing. And Dave has alluded to this 1,000 times. The games grew too fast. The games grew too fast. They grew it fucking a million times faster. Go back and look at pro football or basketball. They didn't have the subsidies that this fucking sport had. This sport fucking exploded onto the scene.
Why is that important?
Because the expectations are massive. And
So
those
like they had no infrastructure. No, is that what you mean?
No, we were able to grow something that couldn't pay for itself. It's kind of like
Okay.
ESPN. There's a book about the founders of ESPN. It's called ESPN. Those guys have all the fun or something. And that was 30 years of Getty money, of just straight oil money being pumped into ESPN. That thing was a fucking complete disaster for its first 30 years. It was nothing but siphoning off cash. This idea that you could fucking play sports 24 hours a day on a network. But they had oil money, and this fucking sport had affiliate money. You have to remember, all Greg was selling was a fucking IP. The CrossFit's not producing anything. People are just fucking dumping fucking cash to take a fucking L1 and put a sign on their door. This thing was this thing's a cash cow. It's not selling M&Ms. And so,
Not yet.
So just take that into yeah, not yet. They will have the CrossFit M&M. So just so you know, take that into expense. Understanding that the excuse is valid. And I know you weren't attacking Allegra. You're just giving perspective. But I just wanted to add that on there. Okay, here we go.
Perlin, are there specific movements that you steer away from in competitions or qualifiers due to difficulty maintaining movement standards? Example: I think push-ups are great for training, but terrible for competitions. I'm afraid deadlifting is trending that direction as well. Well, for sure, your example, push-ups, is a great one. We actually used it in the Open once. We've done it in the games a number of times, specifically with Murph. Push-ups is really hard to judge. So here's the deal. We did it in the Open, and then after the
He's saying, are there movements you don't use because they're too hard to judge?
open stopped doing it because it is incredibly hard to judge and standardize the range of motion visually so a judge can make a good call. Also, but at the games a few years later, even after we had it in the open, we felt comfortable bringing it there because it was a way more controlled environment, meaning we have a few hundred athletes or 100 athletes, less than 100 athletes on the individual side, but in the open we have several 100,000. So doing the push-ups in the games with a tighter field and with our judges, we felt comfortable doing. Even then, it's still a really challenging movement to do at that level. So something like push-ups is definitely challenging. In regards to other movements I steer away from in competitions, like, look, I'm a purist, I'm an old school CrossFitter, so I bias towards, and I've said this in other weekend reviews or other platforms, the core concepts and the core principles of CrossFit basically steer how I program and how I create the test and how anyone who's creating a test like this or programming like this to find the fittest in the world should program. And fundamentally, we use movements that move large loads, long distances, and quickly. And so when you break those aspects down, movements that generate power, high expression, allow the athletes to have high expressions of power. Something like the Turkish get-up doesn't move. It moves a relatively small load relative to what athletes can do. A long distance, we'll give it that, but not quickly. So 2 of the 3 right there, it doesn't fulfill. Large loads, no. Long distance, yes. Quickly, no. So that's a movement I typically wouldn't use. Now, of course, you could apply that to a few other odd movements, or like for an example, I'm not a huge fan of man makers, and it basically because it falls into that. It's not a large load, it's not a super long distance, and it's not quickly. Now, here's the thing to that. There's still great training movements. There's still good things to do. I'm not against Turkish get-ups. I'm not against man makers. I'm just kind of against having them in competitions, especially in a competition, especially like the games, where as many events that we do have, there's still super limited amounts of opportunity to have a wide variety of movements that are super impactful. And what I mean by that is anytime we put something in like a Turkish get-up or a command maker, to use those 2 examples, something else is being left out, meaning maybe a snatch is being left out, maybe a back squat is being left out, maybe bar muscle up. So movements that are effective at moving large loads, long distances, and quickly. So there's a compromise. And when you make that decision, something is out. And so that's why I bias more towards those core movements. That being said, there are always exceptions to the rules, and there's always a reason to kind of break the mold and have something unique, but definitely not too many of those, or not on a regular, not like 5 movements like that. Like, so if you end up seeing a Turkish get-up in the games once, then I'd really like to see everything else in that same year have more of the core concepts and the core movements supported.
So the question is do you avoid using certain movements during for competition? He says yes, but, and then he explains a bunch of different reasons. One of the principal ones was the size of the competition. You're not going to use something like a push-up maybe in the open where you have fucking 100,000 judges and fucking 500,000 participants, and it's just going to get squirrely. But you might use it at the games where you can control it. You can still do Murph, and you can put more pressure on the judges and on the participants, and you can up the level of quality control. That being said, then he goes into some other shit which I found fascinating. Thoughts on that? And I would love to see. I mean, me personally, I'd love to see a 1 rep max Turkish get up at the games.
Didn't they do that at Wodapalooza?
Like they did with the bag lift. Go ahead, Pedro.
They did that at Wodapalooza like 10 years ago or 11 years ago or something. A Turkish 1 rep max Turkish get up with a barbell. They posted like a week ago on like a throwback.
Oh, I'd like to see it with. I'd like to see it with.
It's on their page. You've no Caleb, but it's on their Instagram page. Like the thing is, if you start removing things that are hard to judge, then you narrow so much like what you can test. Like, think of all the videos that Hiller's made. Most of the videos that he's made are consistently hard to judge, or maybe not necessarily hard to judge, but hard to do correctly by the large population of people. So like ring muscle ups are the thing you often see no rep videos on. And they're all, if you walk into a gym, you'll often see someone not. Another thing that I consistently see on Instagram is like wall walks, like the moving the foot before the hand or moving the hand before the foot or whatever. Every fucking time I see someone do a wall walk, they do it like at least one incorrectly. So if you start wiping out stuff like that, like, oh, that's too hard to judge, that's too hard to judge, deadlifts are too hard to judge, push-ups are too hard to judge. Like, if you start removing everything, you're really narrowing the possibility of movements for the open. And I think, as well as anything else, you're taking Hiller's fodder away from him, where it's just like, oh shit, like there's nothing left.
Wrong to do that though? Do you think that? I mean, are you being critical of that? Like,
I think getting rid of this. I think leave the stuff.
It's okay to get rid of it.
No, I think leave the stuff.
Oh, leave it.
I think leave it up to, like, you need to improve the quality of standards in the affiliates, and you need to like be harsh. Like, I remember having a conversation with Hiller about it at his house, and he was like, just ask why, just ask why you letting that person away with that no rep, or ask why is the person doing a not valid rep. And like, it just forces a person to say, like, well, shit, I didn't realize I was doing it, or well, fuck you, and then you have your answer either way. Like, but I just think narrowing the field too much, just, I don't know. I'd rather see wall walks and watch a Hiller video about it than never see wall walks in the open.
Andrew, any thoughts on what Dave's saying?
I think what's interesting is I think that the question was asked in the light of movement standards, and he started to go into the root of prescription about why or why not they would be there. And he brought up the large loads over long distances and how quickly and how much power you could get out of those movements, and why a Turkish get up wouldn't make any sense. Because the only thing it accomplishes is perhaps a large load. And the difference between that and a bunch of deadlifts is how much power you can get out of it. And it kind of seemed like he didn't answer the question, but he gave an interesting response. And I still want to know why he wouldn't put push-ups in the open night. And because he brought up 2012 and he never really said why, other than perhaps it's hard to judge. But so is
Yeah,
a
that
deadlift.
is the reason. That's the sole reason.
Somebody sent me a video of a deadlift today.
That's the sole reason, though. He said it, Andrew. That's the sole reason. That no push-ups in the open. I mean, I'm being hyperbolic here, but no push-ups in the open because they're hard to judge, and we don't want to deal with 100,000 different variations on it with 100,000 different judges. But at the games, it's not. Even though it's hard to judge with fewer judges and fewer athletes, we think we can do it. I mean, that was the answer he gave.
How about what Pedro just said, though? Because if you got rid of push-ups, you should get rid of deadlifts, and you probably should also get rid of power cleans, because I just saw a bunch of power cleans at the Rogue Invitational where there are judges right there and they weren't reps.
Well, is that do you think that those are all equally hard to judge? That's what it would come down to if you want to use Dave's criteria. Do you think that in the order of power clean, deadlift, and air squat, are they all, which one's the hardest to judge, or do you think they're all equally hard to judge? Or equally easy to judge? I don't care how you word it.
Because there was a point in time where the power clean was easy to judge, and now
Right.
the athletes are all letting the bar fly off of their shoulders before they hit hip extension, and their elbows are behind the bar before they've hit hip extension, because they're so proficient at it, and they're trying to get to the next rep as fast as possible. And they watch Froning do singles for years, so they're all doing singles. But you just got to be firm about what a push-up is.
Yeah.
And then you got to be ready to dish out the penalties, which they don't do in the open.
Right. Or in the quarterfinals.
And I suppose, like, everyone's getting away with power cleans now, which we saw at Rogue. And then not everyone, I would say probably a third of the athletes were doing repetitions that weren't finished. And then the deadlift, a games athlete today sent me a video of another games athlete doing deadlifts.
I love
and
pettiness.
I'm like, this is great.
Sleeky, TDC uses a lot of words and still never fully answers the question. I think he fully answered it. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think, first of all, there's a secrecy behind what he's not going to say, hey, we're never going to do push-ups. I think he answered the question very clearly. I think he basically said, hey, here's the criteria we use. Could there be exceptions? Yes. But he's not going to be like, he's not going to be like, hey, these are the 8 fucking moves that you're going to always see in the open.
He answered the question specifically, and then after that he went off on a tangent about the why behind choosing specific movements. But he did say at the start, big field, hard to judge, small field at the games, maybe. That was basically what he said.
Yeah. And whether you like, I'm not saying whether you like the answer or not, it's right. I mean, Hiller's saying that he's like, where do you stop with that? But you still got an answer. Don't you think, Hiller?
Right.
What?
We got an answer. I think we got an answer. It's just more long-winded than we're used to from him.
Anyway, I like the tangent too. I never thought of the Turkish get up like that, but okay. Here we go.
So that's my thoughts on that topic.
Oh, I do not like a plastic bottle, Topo Chico. Fuck.
Hey, this dude drinks so much water.
You end with saying, I'm afraid deadlifting is trending that direction as well. I don't know if it is. I still think it's an appropriate movement for competition. It is challenging, especially with people still being leaned forward over the bar. So it's definitely one that we are looking at and considering. At the individual competitions where you have they call it a more experienced judge, I think it's fine. There's still some issue there, but I think it's still okay to have. Lightweight deadlift is really where it becomes challenging. People are just repping out so fast. Heavier deadlifts typically aren't repped out as quickly. So
yeah, I think I was going to bring that up earlier. I think speed's also a problem. I think a lot of us who aren't games athletes don't realize how fucking fast the top 1% are moving, and that it really does make judging a different I don't know, a different sport of its own.
I don't think Dave realizes that the world watches them move that fast, not getting no reps, so everyone tries to get away with it.
Yeah, fair.
I think Dave probably
better.
realizes that, but he's not saying it.
I understood what you meant. Yeah.
Okay,
Usage of that movement. Good question. I enjoyed that one. At Tyler,
I don't believe that.
He's
I
fucking
don't
said
think-
that to the last two questions, and he didn't say
I don't
it
think
for
he-
mine.
What?
That he enjoys the question. He doesn't enjoy any questions. Get the fuck
If he
out
says
of
it
here.
after the next question, I swear to fuck.
RS. Dave, how do you manage your professional duties and CrossFit leadership intersecting with your personal relationships with folks such as Sevan?
Great question.
Oh shit! Who asked that?
He didn't. No, he did say go back.
That is such a fucking. Are you fucking kidding me?
He talks a lot about this.
What are the fucking implications that you would be friends with me that would be a problem, you fucking scumbag? Who asked that? God, I hope this isn't someone I like.
At Tyler Chingaris. Dave, how do you manage your professional duties
Is that a Chinese dude?
At-
Tyler
at-
Chingaris?
At Tyler Watkins.
Oh, is it Watkins?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
and CrossFit leadership intersecting with your personal relationships with folks such as Sevan?
The fuck does that mean?
Just
Who
listen to
have
his
huge
fucking
dicks?
answer.
He's not allowed to interact with guys who have fucking monster Coke bottle dongs?
God, this Coke bottle dong. That's what I gotta name this
So
episode.
Sevan has been a friend for almost a couple of decades now, for like as long as not as long as I've worked with CrossFit, but for very long. I mean, I met him during the second games, so around that time frame. And we've been friends since then. We've been close friends since then. Obviously, with the changes of leadership a few years ago, he lost his job with CrossFit. He went and did his own thing. Actually, he didn't do anything for a while. Still close friend with him then. Then he started doing his podcast.
I can't believe our friendship survived that.
Why?
I mean, because our friendship was around CrossFit, and so when I didn't work at CrossFit, I seriously thought, well, why would I ever fucking call him again? Why would he call me? I don't want to fucking talk to you. We don't talk about parenting or football, or we don't like any of that. I don't do shooting. I was a dirt twirler. He's a fucking farmer, Mexican farmer. He's a ranchero.
Hey man, I believe you.
But we
You
ended
told
up
me-
we
you told me
stayed
once we
friends.
would
We
be
still
friends if I
called
didn't
and
make
just
YouTube
talked for
videos.
an hour every day. What?
You told me once we wouldn't even be friends if I didn't make YouTube videos.
Yeah, probably not.
Like we wouldn't have anything to talk about. And I go,
Well,
yeah,
now
you're
we got
probably right.
football. Now I'm a Chicago Bears fan. It's all fucked up. Our
That's right.
relationship's taking a weird turn.
Podcast, still a close friend with him, and it's just separate. I'm friends with him, and then I have my CrossFit job, but I don't. I'm not going to compromise my friendship just over, or I'm not going to say, hey, I can't be your friend. Although he takes jabs at us sometimes, although he's doing a podcast about CrossFit, at this point, I don't think he's done anything that I would feel like, hey, dude, I can't be your friend even. What would that look like? Him directly coming after me? Hey, that wouldn't be what I'd expect out of a friend. And he doesn't do that. And there's a line he could cross with CrossFit where I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you saying that for? What are you doing? I've actually done that a few times. I will say.
Yeah, he has. If he watched more of my podcast, he'd probably do it to me every day, like slap me around every day. I want to tell you guys something. I said it in the last show. For those of you who know, there's nothing Dave could do to break my trust. Like he could steal my car and tell me he didn't do it, and then I see him driving around, and I would still trust him. There's something. My parents, my mom and dad, taught me to love everybody. That was like the essence of my fucking raising. To fucking treat people how you want to be treated, and I really want to be treated with love. And I love, and I just love, and I just love. One of my favorite pastimes is loving people. Then Dave came along, and Dave unfucked me, and he taught me something about integrity. You can't love someone at the cost of your integrity, and I had to rework what it meant to love someone, what it meant to be nice to someone. I'm not one of these people that's like, hey, you don't have to love everyone. Yeah, for me, I do. I do have to find a way. I'm pure. I'm my best Sevan when I love everybody. And so even people I don't like, I'm like, fuck, how am I going to fucking squeeze them into the love bubble? But what Dave taught me, you have to understand this, at fucking 40 years old or 45 years old, 35 years old, whenever the fuck, he started teaching me about integrity. Integrity means when you don't lie. When you don't like kind of pinch, and my wife was always trying to teach me that, but it didn't sink in until Dave, because nice people are lying motherfuckers. lying motherfuckers.
I need to clip that.
Travis B, Sevi, you literally load this show up every day and talk shit and shit talk randos. Well, that's the other that's the thing you don't understand. You half the shit that you think maybe is me shit talking is not shit. Like I wouldn't think if someone was saying that about me is shit talking. That's why it's very hard to hang in our thread. That's why most people fucking run with their tail between their legs. I mean, I fucking ass pounded fucking Pedro the other day for talking to those guys about his fucking assault bike. He was talking to some of the fittest people in the world about their assault bike, about how he rides the assault bike. You know what I did today? I talked to the guy who's the best guy in the fucking world on the assault bike about, and I told him my assault bike things. I won up
sure
Pedro
did.
for being a
I
dipshit.
thought about that when you were. I'm like,
Wait, you were criticizing me?
So
Logs off.
listen, you just be chill about me. Okay. Anyway, this is nuts though. Like there's something wrong with my friendship. Let me continue here.
Say this though, my friendship with him is beneficial to CrossFit for those two reasons I just said. A, he doesn't take as many shots at me as he could because of that, and he'll be the first to admit that, and I'll fucking say it. And B, he definitely tones down how he comes after CrossFit because of our friendship. And if there's been multiple times where he said, "Hey, dude, did you know this about that person?" Or, "Hey, did you know you guys did this?" And I'm like, "Hey, dude, just chill the fuck out. Don't come at us with that, or don't come after that person, because that'll make it really difficult for me, and it'll make it really difficult for our relationship." So yeah, that's how I deal with it. And if there is a point, like we're really close friends, but he could jeopardize our friendship and our relationship.
That is 100% true. What he said. If I say something to him and he says don't talk about that publicly, I will not. That's 100% true. I've told you guys that from the beginning. If he told me to shut my mouth, I would shut my mouth. And
what if it's something he didn't tell you?
Well, so that's why I got to be. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, do I tell Dave I know this because I want to go public with it, and I'm afraid he's gonna tell me not to.
Yeah, like I can see him telling you something and being like, "Don't talk about this." But what if it's something you heard from like 5 other people?
So then I'll say that to him too. I'll be like, dude, I got like this source, and this source. He is very tight-lipped to me about CrossFit, whereas before he was not. Like 2 years ago we would have spoken more freely, and now he's not. Now he's more just like a sounding board for me. But and I think what he's about to say is I could go too far and jeopardize our friendship. He could not do that to me. There's no way. Cave Dastro, do you love the Lone Ranger? That's Tonto, Andy Stumpf, Tia makes WODs great again. First of all, you can't even put
Tia doesn't belong in that.
You can't even put Tia or the in that group at all. I love Tia. Yeah, I totally love Tia. Makes WODs great again, guy, and Stumpf and Andy and the Lone Ranger and Tonto. Although they've said stuff to me that about me, I promise you that none of you fucking would tolerate anyone saying to you about. I have fucking kids. And the thought of someone hurting one of my kids versus what those guys have ever done to me, they don't even rank. Like I would love to fucking hot tub naked with the Lone Ranger, Tonto, Andy, and John Woolley.
Oh, that's
It'd be my pleasure and drink with them and shoot the shit with them and you know what I mean, and then hot sauna.
I swear,
with them
if you mention a Coke bottle dick again during this segment,
there'll be no Coke bottle dicks in that segment. But like when you say I hate them, it's not. I don't hate any of those guys, but they've said some shit about me to people that's fucking crazy that you don't say about anyone unless like you had firsthand witnessing of it. And but I shouldn't even lump Andy up. I shouldn't even lump Andy in there with that. Andy and I just fall on opposite sides of the fence. I don't have any like. But I know I don't hate any of those guys.
What's interesting as well is I've had not loads, but a lot of people have said, "Oh, how can you be like friends with Sevan, or how can you be friends with Hiller? They're this, they're that, they're whatever." Like, a long list of like assumptions or whatever. But like the thing you're talking about there with the integrity. What the fuck? The thing you're talking about there with the integrity.
I'm tripping. Do you see two Hillers? Did
I
you
see
see 2
4.
Hillers?
No, I didn't see 2 yet.
Oh, that was
Four.
weird.
The thing you're talking about there, the integrity and stuff. Sometimes I ask people advice, knowing the answer I'm going to get. Like I'll show something to my wife, and I know she'll say, "Oh yeah, that's great." Like it could be dog shit, but she's just supportive. Like that's the way she's supportive, and a couple of my friends as well. But I know if I say something in that group, I know if I ask Hiller or if I ask you, if I get a response, it'll be the absolute truth, and it might be hard to stomach, and it might not be what I want to hear, but it'll make things better. And it's like trustworthy because it's not out of a place of vindictivism or whatever. It's not, and you're not saying it to better yourself or to worsen me. You're saying it to better everyone. And it's like people get this misconstrued with like that harshness has to be negative, or it has to be just criticism instead of it being constructive, or instead of it being helpful. It has to be through hatred or through like negativity, like just because they're not used to getting that kind of feedback. They don't have those kind of relationships where someone can say, that's actually not your best work, that's actually kind of shit, you should have done this. They're used to people patting them on the back saying, good job, little buddy.
And let me say this, Pedro. There's a depth to people, a different depth to people, to where there's pussies and there's not pussies. Fucking Hiller's mom died when he's a fucking kid. There's a depth to him that the rest of you motherfuckers haven't had to deal with. I filmed fucking kids dying on 3 different continents. I filmed fucking starving kids for fucking 2 years, amongst many other things. There's a depth to me that many of these motherfuckers don't have. So things that fucking hurt your feelings don't fucking hurt my feelings, because there's a depth to me and a realism to me that some fuckers don't have. I got it.
I stubbed my toe yesterday, and you don't hear me going on about it, but
You what? Say it. You
I
said, yeah,
I
exactly.
stubbed my toe. You know,
Yeah.
shit happens.
So,
love
and by the way, Hiller's never cried to me about that. He's never been like, I'm just telling you what I just know about human.
Are you stuck?
Thank you.
Interactions,
No, just
character.
character, just how we work as machines. Like when I heard, yeah, exactly, Logan. My mother will never
I
die.
read
Yeah,
that.
mine
That's what
neither.
I was laughing at.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so things that, like, there's nothing that any one of those people you mentioned can do to me as long as my kids are healthy that would make me hate them. Like, that is what I there's people in that list who fucking maybe cost me $1 million. They don't even fucking know it. But it doesn't matter compared to my kid won a tennis tournament yesterday. Dominated against Asian kids. Fuck. No, it's hard to believe.
You know that No Rep News Instagram page? I can see a post tomorrow saying the Lone Ranger burns down Sevan's house to test his theory about his kids. He didn't hurt his kids, so he still loves them.
And if it does say that, I know it's your account.
Well, I just think I'm hoping he makes it, or she.
They.
Okay. Anyone want to say anything? You want to say anything on behalf of your mom, Hiller?
No, not really.
Okay. All right.
She's chilling.
Crossing specific lines.
All right.
Then I don't think he wants to do that. And I don't.
Are you fucking kidding me? Asians aren't great at 10. Oh, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah,
dude.
they're shit at maths too.
Oh yeah, thank you. That was sarcasm. Here we go.
I want him to do that. I want to continue to be able to be his friend, and I don't want anybody in CrossFit to have to say, "Hey," and nobody has to have to say, "Hey, you can't be his friend anymore," because that would put me in a really weird position. That'd put us both in a weird position.
God, I hope that happens.
Stop drinking out of plastic. Such a fucking great water. What'd you say, Hiller?
I hope that CrossFit tells him that he can't be friends with you anymore. God, that would
What
be
would you have
awesome.
done if when he read out that question, if he was just like, I'm not talking about that piece of shit, and just like breathes would that hurt?
No. I'm telling you, the lessons he's taught me, it was what I needed, the missing piece I needed to love people.
At Jersey, Justin,
to my fullest, without compromising myself.
26. TDC. You used to be able to go on main site and search for physicians who had their level 1. For some reason, the search only shows affiliates now. Will this not be offered any longer? Looking into it, I think it's a really cool value add. I think it's good for our community to be able to know where there's like-minded doctors who think the way we do in your local area that you can find and get care from without going to someone who doesn't know anything about CrossFit or might think it's dangerous or might not understand it. I don't know. There's a lot of tech changes going on our platforms and constantly testing new things and evolving. There might be downstream a plan to have it back. Definitely something I think we should have. So I'll look into that. At Cell.
I was stuck in my head. So what
About
happened to the
insane
physicians?
value
Why
add or
can't you
what?
find
They took it off the website, and he's saying, "Can we bring it back?" And he's saying, "Yeah, there's some value in that. We might bring it back."
some
No, he said
value? I don't want
value add.
anyone holding my Coke bottle unless they have a fucking L1.
Fucking cold blood.
What did he say, Hiller? What was the reason he gave? I was trapped in my head thinking about some other shit.
He didn't actually say why it was gone. He just said we should bring it back.
He was the coons talking. Yeah, it's a great
Oh.
value add to our website. And like, oh, last time I heard that was straight out of MBA mouth. Jesus. What?
No.
What?
Sevi, is TDC's public face different than his private personality? No. But it's got a greater range. He'll be the first to tell you he compartmentalizes his life where I don't. You know what I mean? Like he has but it is the same person that operates both of them. But it is, you know what I mean? He doesn't put on like he doesn't at the ranch. He doesn't only speak Spanish and like wear a cowboy hat.
He
And
speaks
wears a
Spanish?
cowboy hat. I don't know if he does. Do I or does he?
Him.
No. But what's crazy is all his neighbors like don't speak English. They only speak Spanish. They're like real rancheros. They have like bulls and it's crazy. So and he hangs out with those guys a lot. It's a trip. So those they have to. I mean, he must speak some Spanish and they speak some English. Okay, here we go.
Salah Maru. Keto is a fad.
What
your opinion. I
4
don't think it's
point
bad. I think
4 4.0 speed from here on out.
Oh, really? It's
For
keto's
me,
a
at least, it's
fad?
highly effective.
I'm pretty sure the whole
utilizing
rest of the
concepts from
video
it to
until like 20
live a healthier
minutes.
life, to live a better
4.0
performance, some things I do.
speed.
So cool. That's your opinion, not mine. I don't care what you think about it. I'm seeing results from it. Frank.
That doesn't
look
even make
exactly the
sense.
same.
Keto's a fad. That's like saying eating's a fad. You mean a certain way of kind of eating's a fad?
I was told the other day that someone said about me that I have an eating disorder because I'm eating meat and fruit. I was just like, okay.
Hey.
There's a lot of yes. I have an eating disorder too because sometimes I don't eat, so I fit in my clothes better.
Guys, I went down a rabbit hole the other day about that. And I think I was on the phone with you, Sevan. The fitness in 100 words, after it says eat meat and vegetables, nothing seeds, little starch, some fruit, no sugar. It says eat levels that will allow you to exercise, but no more. And then I thought how at a foundational level, that statement is what people will claim of everyone with an eating disorder. And I actually think it was JR on your show said that he was accused of having an eating disorder because he'd eat an entire pizza and the next day work out 3 times as much, which is exactly what that thing says you should do.
Oh.
If you eat, you do it for exercise and no more. Don't like, but not body fat.
Yeah, it's probably an eating disorder when you do it and then like punish yourself. You know, like if you do it as like self-masochism to be like, wow.
It's just like, oh,
no, but that would be the eating disorder side of it, wouldn't it? Like doing it as a punishment rather than, well, I ate that pizza, I'm going to put it to use tomorrow. Like waking up being like, I'm such a piece of shit. I ate a pizza. I'm going to like do 1,000 burpees and cry.
I think like the prescription of ADD medication, there are people who need it. And then there's 95% of people who say, oh, I have an eating disorder, or you have one, and it's just wrong. I think it's common sense to work out.
I don't know what it's like not to have an eating disorder. So I don't know what it's like not to have. Yeah, I clearly fucking have an eating disorder. Meaning it's not. Food's not casual for me. I'm not like. Food's not casual for me. Like it's intense. It's always an intense experience that I fucking enjoy. It's like sex. It's like fucking food's cool. Like
you fuck your watermelons?
I haven't. But I accept that, and there's nothing heavy around it for me. Probably because it hasn't caused me any health issues. But also, I accept the fact that 300 years ago or fucking whenever, that it's a relatively new idea that there's this abundance of food, and that as humans, as a species, we're just fucking like figuring it out. I accept my eating, maybe you don't call it eating disorder. Maybe it means a thoughtfulness around eating. There's a lot of thought around my eating. None of it is just like, you know what I mean? None of it's just like, hey, there's an apple tree, let's eat apples. I mean, some of it is, but
there it is.
Would you say eating's not casual for you either, right? For either of you guys, right? I mean, it's like serious.
When it's casual for me, it's a fucking shit show. The last
Right.
30 years have been casual.
Right.
So
Just
now
like eating
it's
ice cream out of the carton and shit and cereal and just whatever, right?
yeah, just like hungry eat.
Yeah.
And
When's the
whatever's
last
to
time you
hand.
put something into your mouth and hold back on that sexual thought you're gonna have, and didn't think about what it was doing to you as a human, food wise?
Fucking
Never.
10 years, 20 years. Yeah.
When I started doing the meat and fruit.
Really? Oh, okay. It's like even if you have pizza, you're like, all right, this isn't the greatest. And if you have a protein shake, you're doing it for a reason. If you have sugar, you're doing it for a reason at this point. And it's because of that statement in Fitness in 100 Words. Is that true?
No, but I like it.
Do you know
Logan
what I
Mars,
figured?
Go ahead.
Do you know what I
Let me
figured
read
out
this real
about
quick,
you
Pedro.
last
Hold
week?
on one second.
Sorry, yeah.
Logan Mars, if Sevan eats too many pieces of white bread, it will go to his nose. I wasn't allowed to eat white bread as a kid. When I went away to college, I got white bread, mayonnaise, bologna, and cheese, and I just ate sandwiches for like a month like that because I wasn't allowed to eat that as a kid. Go ahead, Pedro.
I realized yesterday that you and what the fuck is his name? 1990s Richard Gere are the same person.
Oh yeah.
Like incredibly alike looking.
Yeah.
The movie came on TV and I was like, fuck, that looks really like Sevan. And then I was like, oh shit, that's Richard Gere. You don't look like him now. You look nothing like now, him and you now. But him in the 90s, put a man bun on his head, little bit of salt and pepper.
I loved his wife back then too. What was her name? I talked about her this morning.
Julia Roberts? No, that was in a movie. Pretty Woman.
She was a model with a wart.
Yeah, look, 1990s. Look, that picture on the far right. If you put a man bun on that magazine cover.
I'm like Dustin Hoffman and Richard Gere like had a baby. John Travolta and Sylvester Stallone added some semen in the pile too. God, what was that? What was his model wife's name? There she is on the bottom left, Cindy Crawford. God damn. I was a little boy infatuated with her. Crawford, thank you, Adam. Jesus criminy. Logan Mars, didn't Richard Gere put a hamster in his anus? I mean, I think it was a gerbil was the joke. I mean, that was the joke. Never been with a hooker ever. Never had a one night stand.
Are we done listening to Dave talk about keto?
I think
Derail that.
He's asked what's his daily eating like, and then it's like 10 minutes of that now.
How do you guys feel about keto?
Especially the 24th, because I fast so much and shooting drills, doing really hard land navigation. You're up for the entire time. You have a 35-pound pack on, and you're moving the entire time in the morning. We went to Mark and didn't have one thing to eat through the entire race, and felt great.
Oh yeah, this is interesting. Did you hear the part about the race?
Yeah.
He told me he was going to do that. He did a 36-hour race using land navigation and nighttime hiking and all that shit.
The only thing I found particularly interesting about it was that he ate like what sounded like the greasiest burger ever before he did it. Like I definitely would have shit myself if I had food that greasy before doing a really long endurance thing.
Let's go to 20 and let's do the last 3 minutes.
Principle that my body is fueling off of fat. I knew I was fat adapted into the race and that my body was fueling effectively off of my fat reserves. And I knew I was able to do that. And I wanted to see how long it could go without affecting my performance. It was like an experiment. I enjoy challenging myself and experimenting that way. And it worked out great. And being fat adapted, which you just can't cut carbs and try something like that. So I don't recommend this. Don't do this. You have to unless you put in the work to build the foundation to be able to do that. So I don't recommend trying this unless you put in a lot of time and effort into actually reducing your carbs, lowering your insulin levels, reducing your glycogen. There's something
I probably shouldn't say, but there's something you have to, and it's not a big deal to you guys, but it'll probably be a big deal to Dave because he's so private. Dave's wife is a world-class chef. Like she's the best cook, and I've known a shitload of amazing cooks, especially in my family. She is an amazing cook. And she loves cooking. So he can do anything he wants. He could be like, honey, can you just make me hamburgers with 3% fat for the next 7 days? And he'll get that. Like he can do whatever. She can do anything. Anytime I've been to her house, everything is homemade. Homemade pizzas, pies, cakes, shish kebabs. Like everything is like, it's crazy. Dave sounds like a chipmunk. Pardon me?
Did you just say that you eat pizza and cake?
Dave sounds like a chipmunk because I'm playing him at 1.5 speed, eating beaver. Yeah, I went over there with my I went over there with my kids a few months ago, and his wife had this. My kid, she had the pizza oven, everything, all the makings, the dough, and she let my kids make the pizza. But she kind of she had all the shit there. It was nuts. It was so cool.
My dad, his parents grew up owning a pizza place. He used to make pizza. Found that out when I was like 10. It was so weird. It was, yeah, I know how to make pizza. I did it for like 10 years.
Katie, ketosis in Katie Kanshu. Ketosis in animals is considered a medical emergency. So why would people want to be in ketosis? Wait,
She
she
really
like a
likes that
veteran?
wall.
Is she a veterinarian? She does like that walk. Anyone want to feel the animal? What animals in ketosis? Cats only eat meat.
That's what I was gonna say. I knew a couple of dogs that only ate lamb. So like,
Yeah,
they seem
the
great.
fastest way to fuck your cat up is feed it something besides meat. Here we go.
And so it's getting to a place where it's easy for you to kick into being fat adapted and fueling off of ketones. So it worked great for me. A great experiment. I probably won't ever do it again. When I do that race next year, I'll probably eat. But I just wanted to experiment and see, how it would work and if I could do it. No issue. Worked great. So super cool story. Excited to share that. Probably do another video just on that race and just on that topic. Drank a lot of water. And drank, actually, not even a lot. I drank water. I drank Element. So Element sodium replacement has magnesium too. And also,
wait, he drank Element? What's Element? LMNT?
Yeah.
Hey, I like
No,
that stuff.
That's really weird that he said that.
Why?
You don't know why?
Because he wouldn't talk about it unless CrossFit gave it to him.
No. Anyone want to guess?
Is there a different sponsor or something?
No. Nope. Anyone?
Could I figure it out if you gave me long enough?
Yep. Is that what Element is? LMNT? That's what he drank?
I think so, yeah.
Does it bring you out of ketosis because it's salt and potassium?
TDC claims to not watch your show, but he definitely does. I don't think he does. I think he would tell me. Bruce Wayne, LMNT. Oh, here we go.
I wouldn't have come up with that answer to answer that question from a second ago.
There we go. Look at these motherfuckers know their CrossFit shit. God, I want to have my own LMNT brand. Because, here we go. Rob Wolf and Dave are BFFs. Nelly. There we go. Sleeky knows. Yikes. Does Sleeky, do you think he's throwing him an olive branch or he doesn't know or what the fuck's going on? I can't even believe he just said that, to be honest with you.
Doesn't know or doesn't care, maybe?
I'm sure he doesn't know.
Okay.
Hey, anybody who's hating on LMNT, you're just jealous that
You'll find out if he watches the show after that.
I really want my own LMNT company. I could so get, that's like the only supplement like I could really like.
3 liters of Element over the course of the race and probably 9 liters total of water. So didn't finish as I wanted, as high as we wanted to. Made some tactical errors, call it, but really happy with how that played out. A couple other points, and then we'll wrap up. This was actually a long one. Sorry about that.
He's sorry about that. This is a long one. I'm sorry too. I got shit to do.
A couple ideas. So I've heard a few places, and I've talked to Rich about this now. I talked to Craig Howard. A few people have talked to me about the affiliate cup and that the games doesn't feel like it's really it's not about affiliates anymore. I still think it is. When I look across the floor and everyone's there, there's a lot of affiliates there. There are some teams that are still affiliate teams that have, with the rules, have had people come to their gyms, but they're still working out at a gym. They're still, call it, following the rule to get to the games. It's a super team, yes, but I don't think it's just a competition full of super teams. If anyone has ideas on how to, in their mind, any affiliate owner specifically, make it more affiliate cup-like for them, please email me those ideas.
Wait, why wouldn't it be the affiliate cup? Don't the team? What are the rules to be on a team at the
You
games?
have to be within
You
100
gotta do
miles.
the open at the affiliate. That was it.
That's it?
Yeah.
You have to be there for the open and quarterfinals, isn't it?
I don't think the quarterfinals were. I think it was just the 3 open workouts. You had to be in the affiliate doing them.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised about the quarterfinal thing, but I'm 80% certain it was just the open.
I don't think this is true what Dan's saying. Ketosis in sorry, Dan. Sorry. Ketosis in cows refers to a negative energy balance. Energy expenditure is greater than intake. Perhaps it's the same for all other animals. Nothing at all to do with fat adaptation. I always thought my understanding of ketosis, and not for cows but for humans, was when your body takes fat. When you're basically your mitochondria are taking burning ketones instead of sugars, and they get those ketones from fat. And if there's a shortage of glucose in the bloodstream, that your mitochondria basically will start burning, switch to a ketone factory. And then when it does that, then you're in what's called ketosis. But I've never been inside the body. This is just shit people tell me and I've read. It's like an agreed upon
you haven't
thing.
seen the Magic School Bus?
No, I haven't seen any mitochondria or nothing. I don't even know if they really exist. I'm just telling you like
the Magic School Bus could be in you right now, Hitler, and you wouldn't even know it.
You're damn
right. Is that what your understanding of ketosis is, you guys? Is that
what you said?
I don't know a fucking thing about it.
Oh.
Holy
Hiller, where are you?
My other house.
Oh.
You don't got multiple houses?
No, I didn't know that. You're one in Florida?
You never asked. No. It's like
Is this the reason why Dave can't be? People think he shouldn't be friends with me because Brandon Lecoq. That's his real name, Brandon Lecoq. Because on this show he gave away fucking free tickets. Sevan, I need to know how to get black cock between your gym mats. Caulk. Tap is not cutting it. I just squirt it in there. I just get a tube of black cock and put it in the caulking gun and snip the top off and squeeze it in there. And it's good. The black cock is good. I love the black cock.
You just grab it and drag it over the tiles.
Yeah. Now I will tell you this. I do feel guilty because I usually I'll use the black cock, and even if there's a lot of like fucking miles still left in it, I throw it away. And then I just get a new one. I don't like save it. I don't like to put like a nail in it or screw in it and clog the tip. And then like, you don't do that either, huh? If I need another one, just go to Home Depot and get another one.
They're like
that shit laying around.
They're cheap.
Oh, really? That's how much a big tube of the black cock cost?
Yeah, it's not bad. You really put your mats together with that?
Not together, but like I wedge them all in together, and then over time, if there's some spacing, I just put black cock. What would you do?
Nothing. Push them back together.
Oh, the ones on the end are glued down. You've seen
they
my
usually
garage.
Don't move. The horse mats, they don't move.
Oh.
And if you put tape on them, you're a psychopath. Taping your freaking mats together.
Dan, I know about black cock because I'm a dairy farmer. Oh no, sorry. I know about ketosis because I'm a dairy farmer. That's why I know about cows. Fair.
Oh damn, look at this one.
You ever drink milk right out of the tit? I hate to say it, TDC defends the goons more than you, Sevan. Defend it. Oh, that hurts me.
I think it's funny. I just don't think it's true.
Hey, listen to me. You know why? Let me tell you something.
You don't need defending?
I don't need defending. And Dave knows that. That would be a fucking insult. No one ever needs to fucking defend me. All of you go over onto Reddit and tell everyone how great you really think I am. You don't ever have to defend me. Just be fucking honest. He's cool as shit. Thank you.
Note from Get With The Programming. Only lay your stall mats in the winter. So all of you who open your affiliates in the summer, keep the floor empty until the winter.
Or move your gym to Ireland, and then you can just do it any time of year.
It's cold.
That's some fucking advanced shit. I defend you all the time. Oh, fine. Okay. I need a little defending. Dan Guerrero. Apparently Dave lost it on Rob Wolf. Tell us the deets. I mean, I've told you all sorts of deets about it. You listen to this. You're addicted to the show, Dan. You have I have an eating disorder. You have a fucking Sevan Podcast addiction. You know the deets. Remember when he kicked him out of the games when Greg invited him there? Okay, here we go.
Last thing I want to add, the guest programming we do on the main site. This week, Dale King is the guest programmer. And check it out. Dale is an affiliate owner, has a great story, has had some mainstream media attention. I
think someone said Dale was Special Forces. I didn't know that. I thought he was a Marine. Someone said he's Special Forces.
Something to do with intelligence or something.
Yeah, probably not allowed to talk about that.
A documentary called Small Town Strong that he did, where he used his affiliate to help people with their addiction, train at their gym, and change their lives. So Dale King's doing great things in the community. He's not like a big name athlete, but he's making a profound impact on a lot of people's lives. So check out.
Dale King is making a profound impact on a fucking shitload of people's lives. And my only criticism, Dave Castro, is you should have put that in the very beginning of the show. Ooh. So
At least before the
critical,
keto
Sevy.
stuff.
Look at, I got a blowjob and I'm like, do you think at 10 o'clock at night's really the time to suck my dick? I really would have enjoyed it at 8. You bitch. What a fucking asshole I am.
His programming, his main site programming, his programming for the main site for the next 2 weeks. And I'm really excited to have him on board. If you hung out this long and watched us all for the entire 22 minutes, thanks for watching, and talk to you guys soon.
If you're one of the 268 live viewers on the Sevan Podcast, you made it through an hour of it. Thanks as well.
How long before how long before he reports me to Google for ripping off his shit every week?
That's what I was going to say. I'm surprised you haven't gotten like a slap on the wrist yet.
Hey,
I'm surprised CrossFit told him to stop being they're doing that.
Oh God, your connection sucks. I take back all the nice things I've ever said about your camera work and your connection. I retract them all. Fucking A. How the fuck can he not have a good connection, but you're on a fucking island out in the middle of the fucking Atlantic and you're fucking money? Yeah. Even with that head, and even with that Indian head movement you just did. Yeah. Wow. Holy shit, dude. I can't do that either.
My dad's from Pakistan.
And I'm black, yeah. Hey, can you do this? You know how Indian people shake their head like this? Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Oh God, I didn't like that. That made me sick. That's the coolest thing about when you go to India, the way they all move their heads. It's a trip.
They all do that. I have seen it before.
They all do
it like bobbleheads in the back of a car.
I would do it again, but it made me kind of dizzy.
Isn't it like a?
Way
isn't
Pedro
it like a
did it is the way like a black girl talks to you in the ghetto. Like, what's the word she said? She would say, "Oh no, you didn't."
Isn't the head movement thing in India? Isn't it like some kind of fucking like a submissive body language thing, like a non-threatening body language?
It's very attractive when girls do it. It's
well,
very attractive.
Maybe that's why you like it.
It's like
for everyone, like you. Like you think so?
I mean, I think you would think so too. I mean, Indian women are so fucking hot anyway. Like you go there and it's just giant souls looking at you. Dude, my kid played tennis with this fucking probably 12-year-old 5-foot Indian boy yesterday, and his fucking eyes were the most beautiful eyes I'd ever seen on a human. I can't tell. Indian people are amazing looking. And you go to, there's a whole country full of them, and their skin's all perfect and shit. There's no fatties there. Oh, it's fucking amazing. It's such a crazy experiment. If you're from the United States and you go somewhere like China or India or the African continent, you won't even believe what you see.
How many
Ireland's
just are there in India?
Dude, Ireland is like it was like San Francisco 20 years ago.
Have you been here?
Yeah, of course. I've been everywhere, dude. But there's just a lot of drunk people.
Can't really argue with that.
And the boys fight a lot. There's a lot of fighting there.
Hey, did you?
Do you know how different Ireland is to America?
Mano y mano fighting though, not so much guns, but you guys beat each other up and stab each other and shit. Go ahead.
I was dropping my daughter off to like dancing and singing and stuff earlier on, and I parked in a car park, and I was like, oh man, my son is so like hard to get out of the car, move, like bring back. So I was like, fuck it, I'll leave him in the car. I'll put music playing from on my phone on the radio in the car. I'll go and I'll come back. And I was 100% confident everything would be where I left it when I got back. Like if I was in America filling up my car, someone could steal it. Whereas like here, it's like all that shit is safe. I'm fine. I can walk 2 minutes away and walk back 2 minutes, and he'll still be here, happy as Larry. Phone will still be there. Car's still, the keys still.
Well, just so you know, it's only certain areas. It's very small areas, but it's very like that's only 10% of the country, but they're the most popular 10% areas. But fuck, dude, you're so right. It's fucking like. It's third world as a motherfucker in our big cities now. It's like South America and shit. Like people will just reach into your pocket and take your shit now. Like
there's a murder trial on at the minute, right? And there's a murder trial on at the minute. It's getting like news, like headlines and stuff
right now.
Yeah, it's like the front page of every paper, like every news bulletin has like updates on it. And I guarantee if this happened in America, people would be like, all right, and just like move on because it'd be another one 20 minutes later. But it's like we're so sheltered, like it's unbelievable.
Dude, so imagine this. You're Irish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a country full of fucking bunch of inbred white people, right? Like Iceland.
Yeah, the percentage of what you said is correct. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. And so the attorney general of our second most fucking populous state in the fucking union just said the most fucking racist thing that's been said in this fucking country in fucking 80 years publicly. She said that fucking Trump is too male and too pale. And she started a chant. She started a chant for the crowd. Imagine doing that in Ireland. She just shit on your whole fucking country. You're the most pale motherfuckers I ever seen. Your country is too male and too pale. Imagine if someone went to China and was like, your eyes are too slanted and your penises are too small.
You could say the penis thing about Trump too, I'm guessing.
Hey, the irony is people hated him when he was born.
Oh, great, Hillary.
Like,
You breaking up.
what?
The irony is people hated him when he was here, and then I didn't hear the rest.
Oh, the irony is that he tried to tan too, and people hated him for being orange.
No.
Oh, his orange shit is crazy. Tyler, at least it rhymes. Well, she actually went on to say, the attorney general went on to say, too pale, too male, too stale. She should have stopped at too male, too male, too pale. She shouldn't have said stale, but I mean, just anyway, it's fucking nuts. I don't
Coffee
even
pale
know.
and male.
Well, Dems are the party of racism, so there's that. I just can't believe that's fucking. They're going to come after everyone, by the way, people. Like, don't think, oh, well, that's great. I hate white people. You're missing the point. The big picture is eventually they'll come after Chinese people and black people, and they don't care if you're a woman or a man. It's all the same shit. You don't want people. Dude, we had a guy in this country. You know who Martin Luther King is, Pedro?
Yeah.
We had this guy in this country who's a fucking hero. We're all fucking taught to love him from the second we go to kindergarten till we graduate from high school. Wouldn't you say that's fair, Hiller?
Yeah.
We are
Like,
here too.
His whole thing is don't judge people by the fucking color of their skin, judge them by their character.
Okay.
The attorney general of New York is saying judge this motherfucker by his dick, by his penis, and by the color of his skin. Those are the two criteria she's asking you to judge him by. You could never say that motherfucker is too eye slanted and dick's too small. You couldn't say that motherfucking Armenian's too short. Judge a man by his height and the fact that he has 6 inches of foreskin. Like, you just can't say that. But she can somehow say it about Pedro's entire country. We're fucked. People don't stand up against that shit. Anyway, I digress. It was a fantastic weekend review. Sorry, I'm fucking.
It's kind of like Spiegel told me my legs were small.
All right,
Same
Sevan, let's
thing,
lighten the
right?
mood
You're
and read my
expecting-
comment above about Pedro. Okay, yeah, sorry. Here we go. Damn it, Hiller. No, not that one.
Is there an earlier one?
I like usually what Wad Zombie says. Big big game season announcement coming Wednesday. If there's a bye, it will be because of you. Pedro, please say hard to get out of the car parked at the bar. Is that from a movie?
No, I think it's because I say all of those words stupidly. So he's hard to get. Hard to get out of the car parked at the bar. Hard car park bar. Hard car park bar.
Any final words you want to say before I let Eaton Beaver close the show?
This would be a great way to
Yeah,
find
man,
out if
you
Dave does
left
watch
out
this
a part of
show
the show.
because it unraveled greatly from an hour till an hour and 9 minutes. So it'll be very interesting to see if he says, "Hey, I like the show, but all that Chinese stuff."
Hey, I love everyone. That's not my stance. My stance is I'm cool. I like the dicks big and small. I like the slant eyes and the fucking big old Indian eyes. I'm cool. Like,
Can you confirm or deny that maybe you skipped forward at some point during that?
I did. I cut out like 8 minutes of the keto talk.
You missed
There's
the
one
part
bit at
where
the end
talks
where he
about them having
says,
the biggest microphone, and I already ripped it and made an Instagram post off of it.
Oh wait, what
Like
happened?
we have
Say
the
that
largest
again.
somewhere in there you go. We have the largest microphone. We should be using that microphone to tell people CrossFit isn't dangerous. And then I just ripped it and made a post showing the Tia, Fraser, Katrin all have larger microphones than CrossFit.
It's around when he said that we missed that bit as well. I don't know how we missed it. Yeah, we missed a bit as well where he said about the season announcements coming on Wednesday, quarterfinals is going to change or something.
You fucking told me to jump it forward, Pedro. I blame you.
No, you changed the speed, but you didn't jump forward. But I don't know how we missed it.
Oh no, I did jump forward. I cut out like 8 minutes. And this is from Hillerfit 2.0. Here we go.
Biggest microphone. We have the biggest platform. We have the biggest reach of all the CrossFit ecosystem, of all the affiliates, of all the athletes, of anyone involved in CrossFit. We are at the top in terms of ability to speak outwardly. And we need to take that on, and we need to do a way better job of using our microphone, using our platforms, and using our position to tell the world that CrossFit is not dangerous and it doesn't cause injuries, and that it's an effective program for pretty much whatever your goals are.
So you think that that's not true?
They definitely don't have the largest microphone, especially for what it is they'd be trying to accomplish with that. Because that first comment, I think, by Coach Bay Carl says that he isn't arguing. But, and I think Peter said this somewhere, that they have the largest microphone to CrossFitters. And then that coach comment says that other platforms likely have non-CrossFitters following them, which are likely the ones that you'd want to be talking to more often than not about telling you that it's not dangerous.
Sure, I hear you, but I think that's
great.
Right.
Whatever.
I do think that that's a little misleading though, because you could go if you add up their YouTube pages and their Facebook page.
Well, that YouTube page is a fucking atrocity.
But that's because they're not. That's because they're not using it right. Their Instagram accounts are atrocities too. So you're comparing. I mean, I'm not arguing with you that their accounts aren't shit shows, but they do have the microphones, and they could cultivate the followings behind them. They should be posting every single day to YouTube, games, CrossFit. They should be doing that with Instagram. They should be having more provocative, more valuable, more direct, more legitimate fucking comms. But
then they have the microphone, but it's not plugged in then.
Because you could put Camille on there too, Hiller, and you've shown me that her shit's got like 1.2 million followers, but fucking no one's watching it. So like we don't, you know what I mean? And no, everyone knows Fraser's just over there selling beam, dude.
Yeah, but his reels still get hundreds of thousands of views somehow.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean he's popular, but I think that there's different. I don't know. I think what you're saying is accurate, but I think it needs to be contextualized. Like CrossFit they have it in their ability to do what Dave's saying. They could,
but they're never going to do it. At least
they could.
The way we look at it now,
They could straighten the ship. Well, they could still be. What's crazy is they could still be a shit show and be heading towards selling out to private equity, but still fucking cultivate a massive following. One's not right.
Hey, you tell me, Sevan, you have $1,000 to put on whether or not they're moving in the right direction with their media or they're not. Would you put it on the former or the later?
The wrong direction. I agree with you.
You put $1,000 on them not moving in the right direction.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, no, they're definitely not moving in the right direction.
That's the point.
Yeah.
They could have the loudest voice.
They could, yes.
But
he's admitting. What I guess I'm saying is he's admitting they're not doing the right thing. And you're being specific. I'm giving him some wiggle room. You're being specific on what he said, that they have the largest voice, and you're like, no, you don't. But what I'm saying is, and I agree with you. But what I'm saying to you, and I think you would agree with this, is they could have the largest voice. But what we all agree on, me, you, and Dave, is that they're not doing the right thing.
Correct.
Right?
And correct.
Oh, you went out, right?
Correct and correct.
Do you think that
You said
someone
I
could
agree.
take
I agree.
CrossFit? Do you think someone could take CrossFit from CrossFit?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I think it's gonna happen.
Somehow teleport the community somewhere else. If the community is an ice cube, melt it. It falls through the sieve. Catch it in a jar below it. Take it to a freezer and freeze it yourself and bring it over to you. You know what I mean? Like just kind of like.
I tell you what, wasn't I on with Kaplan at some point, and Greg's NDA or whatever his non-compete is up
Yeah.
in the next couple of months?
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't think he wants to do that. I don't think he wants to do that.
well,
Maybe
I
she
mean,
wants
maybe
to
he
do it.
doesn't
I
want
don't
to do it,
think.
but the fact that you look at it and say it's plausible means that it definitely could happen somewhere else.
But you're saying that
Right?
you think it is going to happen. You think it's only a matter of time. I'm not even saying buys CrossFit. I'm saying like eventually like street parking fucking is like, hey, we're gonna throw a fucking fittest competition. We're gonna start doing programming. Our programming for affiliates has surpassed our individual programming because they do programming for affiliates, and they're just gonna kind of morph into that.
I don't
We're
think
gonna change our name from
buying it.
something silly like street parking to something a little more hard.
Fit Cross.
Yeah.
Highway parking.
A mayhem. There you go. Mayhem fit.
Parking lot.
Or how about any of these other people who have their own affiliate programs already?
Yeah,
Chris
and of
Cooper,
those, like,
Mayhem, NC Fit, Palladium.
CompTrain.
What's the one Ben Bergeron has? What's it called? Palladium?
CompTrain.
CompTrain. Wow, Palladium. Is there a Palladium?
Sounds like a fake metal.
Maybe that will be mine. Palladium.
It is.
That'll be your LMNT, Palladium.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you,
Thanks,
Dave
Dave.
Castro, for once again, doing your part.
Thanks.
Your valuable
Black
asset to the
Rock
community.
Fit.
Oh, I like that. How about Black Cock Fit? CAULK. Black Cock Fit.
I think the name
And it's
itself
because every gym it's to denote the black mats at gyms. Have you ever seen mats that aren't black in a gym?
Yeah, mine.
Have not.
Oh, what color were yours?
Blue.
Oh, wow.
Mostly black though. TRT Fit.
Trend Fit.
I have to pee. All right. Thank you for coming on. Sorry for the last minute notice. Thank you, whoever reminded me this morning in the comments that the Dave's Weekend Review, that caught me totally off guard that someone would ask that question and he would answer it. Is it tough to be my friend? It's not tough to be my friend at all. Dude, I fucking sold more L1s than fucking anyone. Thank you.
Anyone.
I booked one last week.
Oh yeah.
Let me put it to you this way. If there were, more than anyone. I sold more L1s than anyone. I'm willing to argue that. Take that in a court of law.
They put it to you this way. Repeats himself.
Yeah, well, because I was going to be like, hey, I've just made so many videos about it and I've talked about it during the day and I got the ball rolling that it's like I'm Adam. It's like, hey, I have more grandkids than anyone. You know what I mean? And I'm not Adam. Greg's Adam. You know what I mean? But I'm like.
Are you that snake?
I'm whatever Adam's kid is. I'm that. Did Adam have a kid or did
he
Adam
murder
have
that
kids?
thing?
Abraham or
Yeah, I'm
he
Abraham then. Yeah.
killed him.
Like after that, like all the like I had my hand in like there's 2 degrees of separation between me and you getting your L1.
And the new head of affiliates hasn't even taken an
L1. Shit.
You missed that sale.
But that doesn't matter, Sevan. It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
What does Don Fall have an L1? Isn't there a way to figure that out?
I'll see you guys
in the gym.
Tomorrow morning, Tyson Bagent will not be on. The Chicago Bears will be playing Thursday evening. And no, my L1 is not up to date. Not even close.
Neither is mine.
Sleeky, yes. Don has an L1.
Oh, there's a guy that asked the question.
What?
Tyler Schengergarth.
Taxidermy? Not
No,
this guy?
up two more.
Oh. I literally asked that question regarding Sevan for podcast. Sevan, also I see your relationship as benefit to Dave for sake of CF. Okay. So it was a psyop.
Paul does
It
have
was
one.
wow, it was a psyop. Okay, Tyler. All right, fine. Get a little free publicity for the Sevan podcast. So I shouldn't be defensive. What's wrong with me?
I saw level
black.
1.
My mats are black. Your mats are black. Why can't we be friends?
Dave Castro doesn't have one.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait,
Oh, yeah,
maybe he
tomorrow.
does.
Live call-in show tomorrow. No Tyson Bagent. Tyson will be on. It looks like Friday. Wednesday, Greg will be coming from Africa.
That's a long ejaculation. Oh, I'm sorry.
I haven't reached out to her yet, but this morning I woke up thinking I would love to talk with Annie, Thor's daughter, about her second pregnancy.
Who said that?
I thought that. It was like something
you
between
thought
my ears
that.
is like, oh, you should get Annie on the podcast.
Pat Founder's having another baby. Not him, but like his wife.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Hmm.
How'd you find that out?
He put it up on Instagram yesterday.
Oh.
I didn't send it to the group because I saw it like 4 hours after he put it up, so I assumed everyone had seen it.
Douche, don't assume anything.
Another boy.
I get all my news from you guys. I don't look at actually anyone's Instagram.
He's having another boy, he said. Strong sperm.
Oh, dude, this guy wants to be your friend bad. Let me know when you re-go for your L1 hill or I'll join. Wow.
That's
the
a child.
second. He's courting you. That guy, he said earlier he wants to be your friend.
Did he? No, that was Rambler.
That was Rambler.
No. It was him too. Dan Guerrero too. Andrea Nisler caught a hot load?
Yeah,
no
she's pregnant.
Shit.
Is that how you say it?
I mean,
someone sent that into the group.
Not a cold load.
I saw that in the group. Someone sent that into the group.
Hey,
that was
have you ever
during
seen
Rogue.
the movie Don't Breathe? You would love that movie.
That's the horror movie where they put the baby in the box?
No,
that's
that's Quiet Place. That's a Quiet
Place.
Place. Don't Breathe. The end of it is wild. It's got to do with semen.
Is it a horror movie?
Oh yeah.
See, I don't understand. It concerns me when I go to iTunes and I see that there's every fucking week there's a new horror movie. It makes me think something's wrong with society. Who would go see a horror movie? I think something's wrong with you.
Hitler.
Oh God.
Hitler goes to see a horror movie that ends with a bukkake by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I saw 10 was awesome.
Nisler was pregnant back at the NorCal Classic. Good honor.
Did she say that?
I don't know.
Maybe they're just doing backwards maths.
My new favorite thing is when people just off the cuff bring up back of the napkin math when they're talking. It's so funny. Like it happened a bunch over the course of Rogue. Like Taylor would bring it up. I think you guys brought it up. It was so funny.
I like it too. I like it that that Tonto has a bunch of like lines now in the ecosystem. Nothing burger, back of the hand math.
I think you guys brought it up with the Torres show too.
Back of the napkin math. It's so good. He should be honored. It's kind of cool.
If he were smart, he'd make, I don't know, t-shirts.
Oh yeah, look at.
You just have a napkin on the front with a bit folded over and some numbers on it.
You know how the Lone Ranger podcast. Have you ever seen the Lone? God damn it, I don't have time for this. But look at this. Lone Ranger podcast. Hold on, let me find it right now on Lone Ranger podcast.
Lone is spelled Talking.
Yes. Okay, look at. Look at I'm going to show you the Lone Ranger podcast. Look at their YouTube page, and look how they have be friend of the show shirts. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought that those were like because Brian Friend's on the show.
That's what I thought,
but it's not.
No, I thought that originally as well.
And so, if they can do
Obviously,
that,
you
then
haven't been listening to them since 2019 like I have.
so I think I need I
Friend
think I
on the
should,
show.
I think I need a back of the napkin math shirt and a nothing burger shirt, but the burger's really a vagina. But you only you know what I mean? The hamburger's sideways.
It would be a burger, but the meat is roast beef or something.
No, it's just a vagina. It's just
If it's
this
a
guy.
no,
No, it's a hamburger, but it's turned this way.
you're thinking of a taco.
Yeah, taco, but a hamburger.
If it's a nothing burger, the center has to be
Did you
empty.
say your wife? Did you say your wife's pregnant again?
No,
You didn't. You're not having another kid.
no.
I think he was talking about Vellner.
I know, but
Valerie
I
is
thought he
having
was.
another
I
kid.
thought he was too.
No, Vellner is.
How many kids do you have?
2.
Are you sure, Pedro? I thought you said that like a week ago or a month ago.
No.
Well, next time your wife's pregnant, about 6 months in, ask her to open her legs and look at her vagina. It's like a sideways hamburger.
Oh, I hope everyone enjoys the last time I'm allowed to come on this show.
Why would you want to see that? Well, see, Sevan, you're not
That
allowed
one
to
told me it
there.
looks like a hamburger. Yeah, it's just it looks like a and then after they give birth, it looks like a hamburger that sat on a grenade.
The friend of the show thing is their Patreon, I believe.
It is their Patreon, yeah. You should bring out a shirt that says "Friend on the show."
Just how about hamburger meat?
We have Brian Friend.
Oh my goodness. How about people who are I always wonder too also what happens when people watch a show. They're like, oh my God, I was on the Sevan podcast. It was so good. And their parents watch and it's just the first 2 hours of them being interviewed and it's all smooth and cool. Maybe 1 or 2 boob comments, but it's chill. And then all of a sudden they get off the show and the parents leave it on and it's just cock and balls and racism and abortion.
Yeah, they accidentally click on a call-in show.
Do you see what's happening in the Middle East?
This show? It's like, not that one, not that one.
Oh my God.
It's like when
shit.
Hopper was on the other day with Hunter, and then you had him on again, and then Hopper apparently stayed on to listen to what Hunter had to say about it.
Oh yeah. Then afterwards, we're just analyzing the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
People stay on after people listen to the rest of the show. Who would have known?
yeah. What's wrong with you? Go read the Bible. Logan Mars. I tell no one. This is a guilty pleasure. All right, I have to go. To pee. Oh shit. Here we go. This is good. My sister is a woke CrossFitter. That's exactly what happened when I recommended your show to her. Oh no.
That'd be a crazy.
She wasn't
Instagram profile,
She wasn't
woke
oh
CrossFitter.
my God. Say it again.
The woke
Say it again,
CrossFitter
Helen?
Instagram profile. The woke.
Oh yeah, that's good.
CrossFitter.
Is there one? Hey.
Is it satirical?
Oh, there isn't one.
Could be.
Oh, there should be. Yeah. Hey, Beck, your sister wasn't oh my God. I didn't realize I was projecting my racism onto the world. Holy shit. All I'm doing. She didn't listen to the show and have a wake up. She didn't.
I'd say 0.003% of people.
Hey, do you remember what you just said about Dave and how at 40 years old he had to change you a little bit?
Yeah.
You know how hard that was for him to do for you? Imagine that, but without that interpersonal interaction.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Basically, too, what it was too is my wife had been fucking trying to explain it to me for fucking 20 years. And then all of a sudden, some fucking semi-autistic Mexican dude fucking explained it to me. He lived it in front of me. I couldn't believe.
I imagine her when you came home, hey, Dave just explained some. She's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, it was like that. Well, it took a long time. It wasn't I couldn't figure out how he could get away with what he could get away with, and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker has integrity, and I started really embodying the words and grokking the word, taking it in, and I was like, oh wow, it's integrity is amazing.
Do you remember anything explicitly that he had integrity over? For example, Greg wouldn't have a
no. I'll tell I'll tell you, it's like what remember when someone said, Sevan, you literally come on the show and talk shit. So I don't have time for this. Last story. At the games one year, he said, the endo board was giving away free endo boards for like the winners. The winner of the CrossFit Games got like $600 in an endo board. And he's like, and here's your cash, and here's a fucking piece of wood you balance on, overpriced piece of wood you balance on. And I'm like, what an asshole. And then I was like, last week he killed 6 people at his job, and this is an overpriced piece of wood. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to say? And so like I slowly started to understand, like, hey dude, there's fucking levels to this shit. And like there's, you can get away with that when you fucking have integrity, like, and you have depth, and you're not doing anyone a favor by sugarcoating shit. It was just a constant, endless barrage of those things, you know. Just, hey, stick to the truth. Now, could he have said it like, you know, and I went, you know, the story you've heard a million times, where I went to my L1 and he's like,
women's weight,
95-pound bars over here for men, 65-pound bars over here for women and pussies. And I was like standing by the 65-pound bar, like, ooh, that sucks. You asshole. But like, why? Why? Like, he's giving me an opportunity.
That the frog grips had nothing to do with Tia Toomey's performance at the Rogue Invitational.
I don't even know what frog grips are, but yes.
I like frog grips, just saying.
Are you making a video on that?
I made an Instagram post about it.
Hiller is greater than Castro.
I don't agree with that, but I'll give you a hang loose sign.
No, I'm not.
hang
Not
loose,
autistic,
buddy.
just Asperger's. He does Dave does some self-stim stuff that because I used to work with developmentally disabled adults, and I see Dave self-stimming.
What is that?
Stimming.
What is
You
that?
know where you do like this kind of shit, or like
yeah,
walking back
like
and forth,
he
or like
lightly
firing
rubs.
guns.
He lightly rubs his eyebrows, like this thing. That's like he's stimulating himself. He's like self-stimming. It's like a
He has a constant stream of water going down his throat.
Squishes plastic bottles.
He's constantly drinking water.
It took an autistic guy to change Sevan. Imagine if all the 49ers get it and change the world. He stands up to people. Like I mean, like, and I could see why Dan says that. You stand up to people too, and you don't just do it on the internet.
I was walking into the Chargers game. Yeah. Did you walk behind anybody there? Because they're the slowest walking people in the world.
Just all the obese people in the stadium.
Yeah. So I'm walking up behind people, and everyone's tailgating, and this dude took a half-drinking beer and shoved it into a bush.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into the bush, and I got the beer, and I walked up right next to him, and I whisper in his ear, kind of loud, and I go, "That's littering, you fucking dipshit."
Oh shit!
And then I like keep walking past him because I was walking kind of quick. And
yeah.
I'm like really ready for him to come and get me.
Yeah.
And he did. But then his wife
couldn't catch up.
And one of my favorite things to do is make men look like pieces of shit in front of their wives when they're being pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And that was an instance where I'm like, oh God, I bet she just thought he was a dipshit. The place is immaculate. They just built it, and he's throwing beer bottles in the freaking bushes.
The place was immaculate.
So there's a garbage can 100 feet in front of him.
Bernie Gannon, does Dave stand up to authority? Well, what's interesting is he would not do what Hiller just said. No, he's a mind your own. Dave really minds his own business. But if you fuck with him, yeah, he'll stand up to authority, no problem. If you fuck with him, I mean, dude, I saw him and Greg have some wars when fucking no one else would fucking stand up to Greg. I'm not saying it was right all the time, but man, they would have some wars. I was witness to some.
People uncomfortable.
Yeah.
One thing I do, this doesn't display integrity like Hiller telling someone they're littering, but when I bring my kids to the pool,
I don't think that's integrity. That's something else.
Well, this is just stupid what I'm going to say.
Maybe it's integrity.
There's like a little kiddie pool beside like the main pool. Mm-hmm. So if I'm in there with my kids, I've done it like 3 times and it never fails to disappoint. Someone will say like, "Oh, which ones are yours?" And I always just go like, "I don't have kids," and I just wait. I wait long enough for them to be like, "What?" And then like it's just me and like 3 kids. One of them is his, and he's like, who the fuck? Why? And then like one of them will come over and say, Dada, and he's like, oh, thank fuck. You can see the relief that they're like, thank God I don't have to report this guy.
Yeah, in California, you would be given a medal. Oh, how nice of you, strange man, to be with our kids. Would you like to read to them?
Yeah, and you've got your dick out.
Yeah, would you like to pull your pants down and read to them?
That's
all right.
funny
Love you
as
guys.
hell.
Talk to you guys soon. Hiller, thank you for coming on. Pedro, thanks for coming on. Great conversation. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
You too.